If running feels hard or boring, it's not because you're lazy. It's because your brain hasn't been conditioned yet. And once you understand how to condition your brain, running becomes a lot easier. So in this video, I'm gonna show you a 4-step framework that will not just make running feel a lot easier, but can actually make you crave going for a run. My name is Nicklas. I have a bachelor's degree in sports science, I'm a certified physiotherapist, and I'm a former professional triathlete. Now, as someone who used to train between 15 and 18 times per week for a decade, I can tell you that training is not about willpower. It's about design. So the real question is, how do we design a life where running becomes a natural part of it and actually feels easy instead of something that we have to do? I'm gonna show you the 4-step framework that I use, and even though I wish it was mine, I can't take credit for it. It actually comes from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. Basically, we need 4 things to not only look forward to a run, but actually make it feel easier during the run itself and satisfying afterwards. We need to make it obvious, easy, attractive, and rewarding. So let me break down how I go about doing each of these steps for myself and for my clients. And by the way, if you want to know what's holding you back specifically, I made a free running limiter test that shows you your biggest weakness and exactly how to fix it. It's my gift to you, and you can get it completely for free in the description. Alright, so how do we make running obvious? Let me tell you a story. Back when I was a professional triathlete, I used to swim every single morning at 5:50 a.m. That meant that my alarm went off at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I'll be honest, in the beginning, I skipped a lot of sessions. Not because I didn't care, but because every morning when the alarm went off, I grabbed my phone. Then I checked one thing, and then another. And suddenly 15 minutes had passed, and I convinced myself it was just too late, so I went back to sleep. And in my head, getting up to train was so hard, but not because of the training itself, but because I had to get up, make breakfast, find my gear, and pack my bag. There were just too many things to do before I even got in the water. But I wanted to get better, and every time I skipped the training, I felt embarrassed. So I decided to make one change. I stopped trying to be disciplined in the morning, and instead I started designing the environment the night before. So I started to pack my swim gear the night before and put the bag right in front of my front door, and then I prepared my breakfast the day before as well. So in the morning, I just had to open the fridge and eat, and then get out the door. I also started putting my phone on my dining table so that I had to get up and out of my bed to turn the alarm off. So when the alarm went off at 5 o'clock each morning, swimming wasn't a debate anymore. It was obvious. And here's what's interesting. I didn't become more motivated. I didn't suddenly love early mornings. In fact, I hated it. But I became one of the most consistent guys on the entire squad. And it wasn't because I got more willpower, but because I removed everything that could get in the way. And that's what it means to make a habit obvious. So, if you want running to stick, it has to stare you in the face. Lay out your clothes the day before and put your shoes by the door. Or you can make a plan with someone else, because once another person is knocking on your door, the choice disappears. But even though this will help the run seem obvious, it still doesn't make it easier. So how do we actually make running feel easier? Let me tell you about something I see all the time with the runners that I work with. They start a plan on Monday. They're excited, they're motivated. They tell themselves, this time I'm really gonna do it. Then Tuesday comes. They get home from work, they're tired, it's raining a bit, and suddenly their brain goes, okay, what should I wear? Which route should I run? How long should I run? Should I stretch first? And before they even put on their shoes, they're already exhausted. Not from running, but from thinking. And the problem is that most people assume they need more motivation, but that's not the problem. The problem is friction. Every small decision, clothes, routes, duration, pace, it's like putting another speed bump between you and the run. And that's why having a trainer is so effective. They remove the friction. So instead of trying to hype yourself up, we need to make running almost stupidly simple. And once you understand how, everything changes. So let me give you 3 strategies to do exactly that. First, you need to lower the bar for success. Decide in advance that you just need to run for 5 minutes. I know it seems stupid to try and trick yourself this way, but trust me, it works. Once you're out the door, momentum takes over and you probably want to run more. But even if you don't and only go for 5 minutes, then you're building the habit of going out the door and running, which is where all the magic happens. I mean, think about it. If you run every day for 5 minutes, you'll become a much better runner than if you run 10 times per year for an hour. And I also noticed that there's something about momentum. So if you keep getting out there every single day, it becomes easier and easier and easier, like a snowball just rolling. But if you stop, and then you have one day where you don't run, 2 days, and it's so much harder to get out the door the next day. The second strategy we can use to make it easy is one I always use, and is to have a default route. So you don't need to think. Just put on your shoes and run. We need to make sure that there are as few decisions as possible between you and doing the work. And third, we need to make what's called a mind shift change. So think about it like this. Who do you think will become more successful? The person who says, I'm trying to get into the habit of running, or the person who says, I'm a runner who run 4 times per week? If you want to run consistently and actually make running feel easier, this story you tell yourself has to change. Now, one of my favorite analogies for this is to imagine you woke up from a coma tomorrow and you could not remember anything. Then your family and friends told you that you are a runner who qualifies for the biggest races every year. Now they look forward to see what you do next. Do you think you would think differently? Would you train differently? Would you eat differently? If so, then why not make that mind shift change today? Alright, so now running is easier to start, but here's the problem. For a lot of people, it's still not sexy. It's still something that you have to do, not something that you want to do. So how do we actually make running feel attractive? Let me tell you a story. Back in the day, my only reason for training was results. I always loved to quote Muhammad Ali for saying, I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit, suffer now, and live the rest of your life a champion. But the problem with this approach was that every training I felt was an enemy that I needed to defeat. And even though I knew the results would come if I kept showing up, getting out the door still felt like a chore. But then, during the summer of COVID, when there was literally no races, I was out running with my dad following on a mountain bike. And I remember suddenly feeling like I never wanted it to stop. Just being out running in that moment was the most amazing thing in the world. I had way more motivation in that moment than I've ever had thinking that I should just suffer to become a champion. You see, knowing that something is good for you doesn't make your brain want to do it. Your brain doesn't care that you'll be fitter in 3 months or that you'll run a faster 5K. Your brain only cares about one thing. How does this feel right now? This is where I messed up. I tried to make running attractive by thinking about results, but instead I needed to convince myself that running in and of itself was good for me. I needed to change the emotional experience of the run itself. And there are 3 simple ways to do that. The first thing we can do is to pair running with something you already love. This is called temptation bundling. So basically you take something your brain already craves and you attach it to running. This is what happened when I was out running with my dad. I attached the feeling of a close bond to him with my run. But it doesn't have to be as complex as that. It could just be your favorite podcast or a specific playlist that only exists for running, or an audiobook you're genuinely excited about. The rule is simple. You don't get that thing unless you're running. Now, suddenly running isn't this hard thing that you have to do. It's the entry fee to finally listening to that music that you've been wanting all day. The second thing we can do is to change the environment, not the effort. So most people try to make running attractive by pushing harder. But that's doing things backwards. Instead, we can try to change where and how you run. So we could run somewhere beautiful We could run on trails instead of in traffic. We could run at sunrise instead of in the dark after work. Even something as simple as changing direction on your usual route can make a run feel new. And for most people, our brains is wired to seek novelty, because novelty increases dopamine, and more dopamine equals more motivation. The final thing we can do is to redefine what a good run is. So if every run has to be fast and hard and structured, then running will always feel heavy. So instead, give yourself permission to have runs that are slow, short, and even unimpressive on social media. Yeah, I know it's hard, but we can actually go run without having to post it on social media sometimes. You see, some runs are for fitness, some runs are for your head, and I know that some runs are to show off on social media, and that's totally fine. But some runs are just to keep the streak alive. The moment you stop judging every single run based on what you've done in the past, running becomes a lot more attractive. Because now there's no pressure, and ironically, that's when consistency and results actually improve. So when running becomes something you look forward to instead of something you dread, and you can get out there even on the hard days, you'll finally start to see those results that you really want. But there's still one more thing we can do, and it's actually what I've seen to be the most powerful. And that is to make running rewarding. So I actually have a weird approach to this, but it's based on science, so stick with me here. You see, in the early 1900s, a scientist named Ivan Pavlov noticed something strange. So every time he fed his dogs, they started salivating, which makes sense. But then he tried to ring a bell every time he fed them, just before giving them food. Then, over time, something wild happened. Eventually, he could ring the bell without giving them food, and the dogs would still start salivating. So why is this? It's because their brains had learned that bell equals reward. And so this became one of the most famous experiments in what's known as behaviorism. And the scary part is, our brains work the same way. That's why we open our kitchen drawer just to check if there's any chocolate left. We're not hungry, we're conditioned. At some point in the past, you opened that drawer and you got rewarded. So now your brain keeps sending that signal. But here's the important part. We can use the exact same mechanism to make running feel easier. Let me explain. What if running itself became the thing that your brain looked forward to? Not because of discipline, not because of motivation, but because your brain expects a reward. This is the mechanism that makes some people just crave running, and you don't understand why, but it's because they ran before and they got dopamine, they felt great, maybe they lost weight, maybe they got faster, so now their brain expects that reward. But even though the goal is to get to that point, in the beginning we can do something else. For example, what if every time you went for a run, you were allowed a small piece of chocolate? Or what if running was the only time you were allowed to listen to that favorite podcast of yours, or your favorite music? Now, the mistake that most people make is that they reward themselves after the run. They think, I'll go run and then I'll get the reward. But that's actually the wrong approach. I mean, think about it. Now you're teaching your brain that stopping equals reward. And so running feels harder. Instead, we want to reward ourselves immediately, as in the moment you start running. Then we teach our brains that running equals reward, not finishing, not stopping, running. And then over time, just like with the dogs, something powerful happens. Eventually, we don't even need the chocolate anymore. We don't need the music, because our brains have learned the association. Now, running itself starts to feel rewarding, and at that point, running becomes a lot easier. But if you're out of breath as soon as you start running, it will still feel hard. So to learn exactly how to breathe before, during, and after your run, so it becomes a lot easier, you should watch this video next.